So the Mattereum thing is basically an exercise in stating the obvious. We know for sure that to get this entire kind of smart contract ecosystem to run, we're going to need to be able to touch property which is defined by a non-blockchain system. So if we take a piece of property device, use this blue screen. So it's an object, right? What is it that makes this property? And this turns out to be a political question. So if you ask libertarians what makes this property, they'll tell you that it's something to do with natural rights. Because animals protect their territory, and if I pick up a stick and someone says it's my stick, this is mine by virtue of the fact that I picked it up. If we ask the UK government, why is this my property, they might want to see my Amazon receipt which says that I bought it. Right? If it in fact belonged to the digital capital, that's because they had paid for it online. So lots of different people have different ways of figuring out whose property something is. Right? All of these international disputes about who owns something, it basically resolves down to the way that something becomes property is that the machinery of state makes it our property. If the machinery of state does not make it our property, it's not our property. So blockchain provides a method of owning things which doesn't rely on a state saying that you own. What it relies on is Bitcoin private keys. Inside of that technical system, the ownership of the key is the thing that makes Bitcoin your property in a de facto way. In a de jure way, is that what I'm saying properly? If somebody steals your Bitcoin keys and then steals your Bitcoin, you nick it off you. But inside of the Bitcoin system, because the Bitcoin system defines the rules of the game where if you have the key, it's your Bitcoin, it doesn't look like a theft to the Bitcoin system. Bitcoin just registers the key is the owner. And the mismatch between the legal systems that we use to identify property and the technical systems that have been created on the blockchain is not going to remain dormant forever. Right now, most of what happens when somebody gets their Bitcoin stolen is they get sent home to cry about it. Because generally speaking, governments don't have enough in the way of cyber expertise to go and prosecute those kind of cases and try and recover people's value. So for the most part, when this stuff is gone, it's gone. Cybercrime is hardly prosecuted. But when we start using blockchains to move this stuff around, the mismatch between what the blockchain says the property situation is and what the government says the property situation is will make the smart contract ecosystem completely ineffective for doing anything in the real world. If something blows out, it'll blow out badly enough that it will be hugely expensive to figure out what went wrong. There'll be expert witnesses. And the results you get from the courts may be extremely surprising until we've got a solid body of precedent the courts have some experience. So this is one of these kind of slow-moving, inevitable problems that eventually somebody will get around to doing something about. Because I'm somewhat long-sighted and I tend to anticipate trouble before it comes, I decided that we were going to be the people who would do something about it. Now, there are tons and tons and tons of folk looking at making smart contracts legally enforceable, or looking at making law streamlined and efficient using smart contract technology. And there are many, many variations on the theme, going from formal semantics right away through to enormous marketplaces with reputation-rated contracts. There are lots of people kind of around this space of wondering. And what makes us kind of different is that we are fairly sure that most of the heavy lifting is actually legal heavy lifting. It's a case of trying to figure out how to represent to the courts what the smart contract really ought to be about. And for this, you need paper contracts. You need a paper contract that a court is perfectly comfortable with to give you a very precise description of what it is that the smart contract is intended to do and what the legal situation around the smart contract was agreed to be by the parties when they started the process. So, in this sense, we're quite close to the Clive's approach, which is, well, it should have been in the contract. And that's very much how we do this. It ought to be in the contract, and at that point, we can reduce the ambiguities around the smart contract use in the real world enormously, maybe by 2 orders of magnitude. So the idea is to reduce and reduce and reduce and reduce and reduce the legal uncertainty associated with how the courts will handle a smart contract which deviates from the expected behavior. And if both parties are happy with what's happening, it's never going to come to court, or dealing with a situation where one party feels advantaged, the other feels disadvantaged, or both parties feel disadvantaged. What we're talking about is problem handling of the cases. This is exception handling for the entire blockchain system. Now, why Ethereum, right? Simply put, I know Ethereum pretty well, I know the people inside of Ethereum pretty well. Ethereum is currently the dominant smart contract ecosystem. But there's nothing that ties the work that we're doing specifically to a given technical layer. There's quite a lot of flexibility for thinking about what would happen if, for example, you do some of this work and wrap it around Bitcoin. There's no reason in principle that you couldn't do that, because what we're designing here are wrappers for socio-technical systems which make them understandable by the existing legal and governmental infrastructure. The entire thing is about building interface layers between the existing systems that define property and manage law and all of these new technical systems. And if we get this right, what we avoid is the messy, bloody, awful face-off between the kind of new world in which private keys define ownership and the old world in which legal ownership defines ownership. And if we can smooth out those gaps so that we see less and less and less misunderstanding of the situation between the new world and the old world, hopefully what we get is accelerated progress towards this kind of long-term, I don't want to say techno-openness, but techno-openness future. Does this sound a little kind of pedestrian? Because it is actually fairly pedestrian. This is an approach which is very much about doing simple things reliably enough that you can depend on them for transacting real value. If we're going to get into a situation where you drive around London with a cell phone, see a house that you like, and pay a deposit in Bitcoin, and at that point the process is initiated, 20 minutes later you've got a mortgage arranged, the entire thing is signed, sealed, and delivered, and then you drive around to somebody's house and pick up the keys. If we're going to get into a world where buying property looks like that, it's going to be because a whole bunch of less complicated things all worked perfectly for years, and people were comfortable enough that they were willing to do their transactions for hundreds of thousands of pounds in these kind of highly dynamic technical environments. And building that trust is not just about the technology being flawless, it's also about not getting ham-fisted, poorly conducted litigation between parties that didn't really understand what they were doing, resulting in terrible judgments. You have to be in a position where everybody gets comfortable with the process if we're going to basically move society onto these technologies in a way which is beneficial enough to all parties that we can understand and accept the costs of those kind of transformations. So that's essentially the Mattereum approach. That's why we're doing what we're doing. The practicalities of what we're doing, I mentioned this earlier on. There's an application in the Android store called EtherCam, which you can download right now. If you have an Android device, download EtherCam. And EtherCam is a very simple Mattereum system. I'm not going to do this right now, but basically you can take a picture of something. You can decide how much you want to license the picture for. Somebody else can see the picture that you have advertised to be licensable, and they can execute a legal contract for that license, which will allow them to use the image in their publication for commercial purposes. And you get paid for this. Right now it's running against testnet. It will go up against mainnet, it will grow some additional features for the other contracts that photographers use, and it's basically there as a demo system to show that you can actually have proper English legal contracts that refer to smart contracts that create systems which are overall legally binding. Now, we have some very, very big dreams in the room about how all this stuff is going to work in the future, about how all these pieces can fit together to kind of trillion-dollar industry scale like Scott was discussing. There are also a lot of ideas about how we fundamentally transform the basic pattern of life using this kind of technology. People talk about having incredibly complicated news structures, self-owning cars, this kind of stuff, and the sort of vision that Trent has for these hugely integrated data markets. But all of that stuff is going to get built one legal precedent at a time. It's going to be brick by brick by brick by brick. And if one of those bricks cracks, and you wind up with a bunch of bad decisions, it's going to be a very difficult process to go and unpick that. It might be appeal boards, all the rest of that. It will be a slow process. So what we're attempting to do is get a relatively flawless execution of the simple stuff, such that we can then go and build complicated stuff on top of it. And that is, relatively technology agnostic. There are lots of technologies around other companies that we might license. There are lots of things that we might develop, but the basic attitude is what really counts here. It's about integration of digital into the real in such a way that you never get this kind of violent pair, which has been so much a part of the American approach to this kind of technology innovation. The Americans love disruption. And that's not surprising given history. There's a whole bunch of manifest destiny, Mattereum, and the rest of them. But I think the European model is much more integrative than disruptive. And for a long time, we kind of took some flack for not being very innovative and progressive in this kind of stuff. But actually, when you begin to talk about transforming the existing systems, nobody is going to be disrupting global shipping in a way that actually disrupts the ships anytime soon. You can mess with taxi cabs, and maybe there'll be some push and some pull, but when you start interfering with global food distribution, you're going to discover the disruption has some hard limits. And Silicon Valley has not shown great success in solving fundamental human problems, even with all of this technology. I think largely because nobody will let them disrupt the systems on which the world fundamentally runs. So for this, we need a kind of integrative and holistic technological approach. And that's very much what we are planning to deliver. I can't think, Rob, is there anything else I want to cover? Let's hear. No, all good?
I think that covers most of it.
Yeah. Could you talk a little bit about contract engineering without going into too much detail?
It's worth putting that.
Okay, so earlier on I mentioned this delamination problem. You wind up with two parties, one of them adheres to what the technical system says, one of them adheres to what the physical system is doing. The steel is in one country, the contract decision should be in another country. That we've referred to internally as delamination. The technical level and the physical layer tear apart. The terrible thing about this is that both sides can be simultaneously correct. Somebody is going to have to go and fix those problems when they arise, and in all probability there will be no right answers to the majority of those cases, because you're patching something which is broken, and at that point it's never going to be quite the way it would be if everything runs smoothly. So preventing delamination is kind of the #1 agenda for us at technology level. How do we go about building paper contracts and smart contracts which integrate extremely tightly and are as resistant as possible to make them to delamination? And that process of building the expertise in contract construction, both paper and or natural language and smart, is basically what we are betting our next steps on. Our objective is to basically master that art better than anybody else in the world, to make sure that the contracts that we produce are as resistant to delamination as they can be made, and are more resistant to delamination than anybody else's contracts. And this is as much a question of legal expertise as technical expertise. In fact, it's probably 3 times as much a question of legal expertise as technical expertise, because the main complexity that will cause that kind of delamination is complexity in the real world, including the pre-existing legal system. So, if you didn't know something about how the Belgians happen to transfer property, and your smart contract doesn't take account of that, you get delamination in Belgium. That's just a legal problem. And the entire network of international law and national law that would affect those kind of transfers, all of that stuff has to be reflected in legal contracts, or you will get breakage. And there's nothing in the technical legal system that is anything like that level of complex. So, to all intents and purposes, it's about having really, really comprehensive, well-written English contracts that embody tons and tons and tons of the pre-existing expertise, and then adding just enough technology to those that you get the beneficial attributes of the smart contracts. And this is an incredibly paper-based approach compared to the wonderland that we expect to see later. Once we have mature tool chains of the kind that, for example, Menlo is building, once that stuff is done, we will very much expect to be early users of that. We might even get involved in the prototyping and development, be early adopters of those kind of technologies. But right now, we don't see anything that's at a level of maturity that we can simply start using and pick up and go. So we're going to do this stuff the hard way until the tooling arrives, which will allow us to do things like formal verification. And I think that is everything that I wanted to say about this. Scott, do you want to come back up here for chat? Okay, thank you.